Hello everybody, this is Paul from Pipes of Old and Grunewald Pipes. I'm just working on a couple blocks today. I don't know if this live will even work with being in the metal building. I need to get a internet extender for in here, but all I've done so far is marked up on the blocks where the jaws anchor in for drilling the draft hole and the chamber. And hello Piper's Mantle. You can see how the block's marked up, and I have two divots here. For drilling the draft hole on a bent pipe, the top divot will come in so the draft hole comes in at a lower angle. Hopefully you're having a great day. I don't know, kind of my first time doing a live, and need to mount up the jaws on the wood lathe for holding the blocks of briar. Hey Jonathan, Piper X1X, how you doing today? This is my first attempt of doing a live. I'm not sure if I'll even have good enough signal for this to come through. We'll see. Mounting the jaws on the wood lathe chuck for putting the briar in so we can do a little drilling and turning. Probably ought to set you up at the other end so it's a little more visible what I was doing there as far as connecting these. I know Simon, he does a lot of this, but he's been doing it for a lot longer and more set up for this live stuff than I am. Just torquing the bolts down here to hold those jaws on. Still got this silly sinus infection hanging on. Makes smoking a pipe a whole lot more enjoyable. A whole lot less more. That's not really proper English, is it? A whole lot less enjoyable. That probably ought to be enough words for that sentence. I don't know. Let's see if we can maybe move the camera down at a different angle. Not sure if it'll pick up down here or not in this metal building. We will see though. A lot of moving around angle. There we go. Now you can see that I got the jaws on. Got some leftover shavings here I didn't clean up after working on a small tamper. Normally I don't do tampers, but I know Flat Cap Piper's got the pipe week going on, so I thought I'd try to make something to be able to add to pipe week for him and for everybody else, actually, because it'll be one of the items that we give away. Maybe I'm gonna have to send him a picture of of the tamper that I've worked on, and so he can see that. And looks like we've got the lathe running a little too quick here for what we're working on. I like to run this on its lowest speed setting for when I'm drilling. With this big chunk of briar hanging out. Sorry about that. Big chunk of briar hanging outside of the jaw area, that really throws off the weight and really likes to try to get the machine vibrating. Alright, we got it slowed down. Now, let's see. Looks like I'm in the top hole. I didn't draw any lines for my draft hole on this thing. That's not good. You can see the lines I have drawn for the chamber. My horizontal line to get my distance up to my first divot and my second divot for when you drill for the draft hole, and for the angle of the stem. Typically the draft hole will come in a little lower into this hole, into this divot, and then the actual stem angle will be more like that. And you do that in order to try to bring the draft hole into the chamber in a better position. So I didn't draw a pipe up on this or anything. This is going to be a wizard style pipe if everything works out well. Let's see. Give you an idea of the size of the bowl. And it looks like maybe around 1.5 inches. So we'll go out to 1.5 inches here and try to scribe a little line. Mark that scribe line I just made with the calipers. Uh-oh. Flat caps on here. I don't know if you were here earlier, Raphael. I mentioned I need to send you a picture. I have started making a tamper for you to give away during Pipe Week. And I've got Danish oil on it right now, so it's not quite polished up yet. But hopefully I'll be able to get that polished up and get you an image sent, see what you think about it. And I made it with briar for the actual tamper lower section, and then I used some of this Purple Heart. I used a little piece of that on top of the briar, and then on top of that I used a small tip of an antler. I'll try to get you a picture sent in email form, see what you think. Hopefully it'll be a little bit of something to add to Pipe Week for everybody. So guys, Raphael could probably still use some more voters. I haven't heard him mention that recently, but I know he was wanting to get up to 100 people or even more that would join in and help vote on the different categories that he ends up getting wrapped up and chosen. So we'll need some people that are willing to do that. So reach out to Raphael if you would like to be a judge in voting for the different classifications that he has for Pipe Week. Just trying to draw up the bottom of the wizard pipe at the moment. Probably should have already had this drawn up prior to worrying about getting out here to the lathe, but evidently I got in a hurry. So now I am in the process of figuring this out, trying to get a pipe drawn on the side. Let's see. I may just chuck that up and put a flat on it and kind of go from there. I'm not happy with that angle where everything's lining up there. That looks a little better. Erase some of these lower lines, they weren't quite right. And I like to have my shank around the 1/2 inch mark is where it ends at. We can be a little bit oversized. Better be over than under at this point. And so there's that. Starting to look a little bit more like a pipe now. Hopefully that's showing up. Yep, that's a good point, Jonathan. If you don't ask, the worst thing they can do is tell you no. So definitely a lot better to ask and be told no as to not ask and never know. That's something I learned when I was younger. I was wanting to get into maintenance, and I was kind of getting the runaround from a maintenance boss, wanting to get into the department, and he just kept giving me a hard time about it. And let's see. One of the maintenance supervisors told me to go all the way to the top above his head and ask. He said that way you'll never wonder what would have happened or what might have happened if you would have tried to get there. And it worked out. I went above his head and went and asked his boss about it, and he said that he'd get it straightened out, and I ended up in maintenance, and that's how I've made my living for most of my adult life. And that supervisor was definitely right, because if I had not asked, I would have never made it into maintenance. And now I'm a engineering tech at that same company all these years later. All right. So I kind of got a center line where I'm coming into my shank. I just need to get my lines formed down to my 2 points down here. This one is going to be kind of self-explanatory, because the bottom one is the divot for, I'll put a mark in there, hopefully make these divots stand out a little bit more. That bottom divot is going to be the one that's going to line up with my shank and the aesthetics of the pipe. And I got a mark up here for the center, so we'll try to get that marked up. Alright, so as you can see there, hopefully that should line up and give us our center point of our shank. Yusuf, how you doing? Hopefully everything's going well. Now the upper divot that I created up here is going to be the one that comes in to bring the draft hole in at a different angle. On the bent pipes, if you can bring that in at a flatter angle, it makes for a better hole position in your draft hole position in your chamber. So we will try to draw that line now. Alrighty, so there you can see the two lines. The one that's a little bit flatter looking will be for the draft hole coming in to the bottom of the chamber, and then hopefully we can intersect with this hole where we stop the mortise. But the mortise will be in line with the shank and the aesthetics of the bowl. Alrighty. So we've got that. Now we'll chuck it up. Hopefully. Let's see. I'm gonna do the draft hole first. I know Simon just whips his blocks in and out of here like they're nothing, and takes me a little more time to get everything lined up than it does Simon. Probably because he's made almost 900 pipes now. I am actually on about pipe 34, I believe. So Simon's definitely got me on experience. Take a look at both sides and make sure it looks like we're lined up where we want to be. What I do a lot of times is use the drill bit to help visualize where my line's going to be, where the hole's going to be. And on top of that, throw a square on here where I can line it up with the line on the block and see how it lines up with the drill bit that I have in there. And that looks perfect. So we'll try to lock that down. Alrighty, so we got that. Put the drill bit up. We're going to put a flat on the end so our drill bit doesn't try to drift very much. I know it's a 4 flute end mill. Probably should use 2, but a 4 is what I have, and it will cut the flat just as well. There we go. Try to bring it down a little bit so you can see a little easier. Hopefully y'all are having a great day. Here in Indiana, I think we're around 70 degrees today. Take a look at that. We're almost there. Little overcast. I think we're supposed to get some rain. Hoosier Marshall telling him the weather here in Indiana is just a little overcast and chance of rain, I believe, is 35%. Of course, that's central Indiana, not up where he's at. He's a little farther north. A couple hours, not too far. Alrighty, we'll call that good for this, because that flat is going to change again in the future. And right now we're going to use a center drill. That way it's really short and stout and won't drift. So we'll end up with a true start to our hole here. Alrighty, and I prefer 4mm draft holes run through my shanks. So I've got a 5/32 or 4mm drill bit. And what we will do is try to get a measurement to see exactly how far in we're running. It looks like I can take quite a bit more of this off. Maybe I should do that. Plus, you guys may be a little more entertained watching me create chunks and risk life and limb for making a pipe. I know Simon makes it look easy, doesn't make it look dangerous, but this thing flying around here, and I'm a little slow for what I'm getting ready to do. I think I'm going to speed it back up for cutting that back a little ways. Or do I just want to drill it? We'll turn some of it off to shorten it up. Probably could have chopped it off in the bandsaw, but I'm just kind of winging it here, doing the live. I didn't really plan this out, but sometimes that's how life is. You just got to go with the flow. Make sure we clear. There we go. 800 RPMs. Hopefully nobody gets hurt in this video, especially on this end of the camera. Probably a lot less risk for you guys over on your side of the camera. Really wanting to get a metal lathe. This working with my hands close to the turning material still makes me nervous. I've had to catch a few times and catch the tool and almost pull into the metal jaws. Being an artisan pipe maker, I probably shouldn't tell you that stuff, but you never hear anybody else talk about that stuff. Let's see, we're getting there. I am impressed by some of the stuff that Simon does with his wood lathe. Cutting acrylic, I have tried acrylic on here for mouthpieces, and yeah, it doesn't turn out good. Typically my tool, I'm not smooth, and it catches and chips it out, and I definitely need to upgrade to a metal lathe here in the near future. We'll make do. Got the Columbus, Ohio Pipe Show coming up in August. Hopefully some of you guys here in the U.S. can make it to that. Hopefully this block will be one of the pipes that I have there, if everything works out. So I'll cut off a hair more, and then we'll go back to drilling. Alright, slow back down for drilling. We're going to take that back out. We're going to shorten it up a little bit. That way I can get a better measurement when I'm drilling for depth on the draft hole. Yep, I'm like a kid at Christmas when it comes to these pipe shows, Papa Bear. I can't read the name on the lowest entry here. It looks like it's Japanese or something, but hello. Whether it's Chinese, Japanese, I'm not real sure. And he says he's a long-time cigar smoker, found a lot of fun with pipe smoking, smoked quiet night, and 965. It's fantastic. Awesome. Glad to hear you're having a good time smoking your pipe and enjoying the journey. All right, we'll get back to this here. So now we'll try to get our measurement off of that to figure out how deep we're going with this draft hole. Looks like 2.325 is what we'll call it. 2 inches, 325 thousandths. So back to our center drill. Get a new spot started there. Alright. Now back to the 5/32. Need to figure out our, that's basically right to the end of the gold. Maybe just a hair past the end of the gold will get us the correct depth on our drilling. We'll set that up. Take this in. Whoop, I'm sorry, I bumped the camera. I don't know how much this noise is coming through from this lathe. Hopefully not a whole lot. Try to keep bringing the drill bit back out while I'm drilling this hole so it hopefully doesn't deviate a whole lot. You get a lot of buildup in there with chips and stuff, and it'll cause your drill bit to drift to one side or up or down, and then your draft hole doesn't end up where you want it coming into the bowl exactly. So a lot of back and forth to get in there, over 2 inches. Jonathan is promoting his X1X blend I see. Galleth Hogarth cherry and vanilla and Aaronmore mixture. I don't know about your Aaronmore, Jonathan. I haven't smoked it, so I guess I shouldn't say. I guess I'm going to have to buy me a tin of it and try it just so I'll know for sure what you're talking about with that Aaronmore. Yeah, I'm mostly an aromatic smoker too, and or crossover blends are nice. I like that Frog Morton Chalet that the Briar Fellowship puts out. If you can get some of that, that's a good crossover blend. And our choice of aromatic would be our Hobbit Weed that me and Chris smoke. That's probably our favorite blend, and that is man, the blend. It's Lane 1Q. I believe if you put 2 ounces of Lane 1Q in, 1 ounce of Laneberry Cherry, 1 ounce of BCA, and I want to say 1 ounce of Sutliff Vanilla Custard, if I recall correctly. And that makes up our Hobbit Weed aromatic that we like so much. Yeah, Lane 1Q I think is a good blend to try. Glad you like that sample, Yusuf. There for a while, I began to wonder if you were going to get that package from us. I can't believe it takes 2 months for us to get a package from the U.S. over to your neck of the woods there in Africa. We're getting there with this draft hole. I'm definitely not as speedy as Simon is. You see him go, man, he's just whipping through it. And I'm sure after almost 900 pipes, you learn your limitations. I don't know if you guys saw it. Ed Armchair Piper posted his 200th video, and in that he showcased a pipe that I just made for him. I normally don't do commissions, but his only criteria was he wanted it like John JMZ Piper's pipe that I made that John bought off of me. And since I already made the pipe, I knew what I was shooting for. I had the dimensions all written down, and so I just made it as close to John's pipe as I could, and looked like Ed was really enjoying that one. I'm glad he liked it. And I believe that's approximately pipe 34 there. Thanks, Yusuf. I appreciate the compliment. We're almost there, and of course I ran out of stroke on the of the drill here, so I'm going to have to slide it forward a hair. I'm gonna double check and measure my length of my drill bit I have sticking out of my chuck, and I'm also gonna double check the measurement on the block that I have in the lathe to ensure that I'm getting the correct depth that we get in and get into the chamber at the correct depth. Looks like I could go just a hair more from where I'm at. I don't want to be searching for a draft hole that's not there. But at the same time, you don't want to go overly deep and drill the opposite side of the chamber. Just a hair more. Yeah, I don't know that I've ever tried a filtered pipe. The closest thing I've tried to a filtered pipe, Yusuf, is one of the Savinellis with the triangular shaped balsa. They say that's a filter. I wouldn't put much stock in that being a filter. I think it captures some of the moisture, but I wouldn't say it's much of a filter. And I only have made one pipe so far, and I use these Chacombe 9mm filters. And here's what they look like in case you haven't seen one. And then they have, looks like 5 holes in the end of them for the draft to come through. Now, I've only made one pipe that took a filter. I haven't sold that pipe yet. But I guess I need to make some more of my pipes with the filter options, because I know there's people out there that like a filter. Alrighty, there's our depth of the draft hole. And in case you weren't on earlier, that's a 4 mil or 5/32. Basically one and the same for the draft. Now, well, that wasn't a whole lot of entertainment probably for you, but I'm going to hop off here at this point because the wife is taking off for the weekend. Actually, the beginning of next week, she's traveling with her sisters and going to go on a little sister mini vacation up, and they're going to stalk some Amish up in, I don't know if it's Ohio or northern Indiana where they're going this time, but they like to go up in the Amish country and look around and admire their flower gardens and yards. So I have to go spend a little bit of time with her before she takes off. I think she takes off tomorrow, but me and Chris is going to go to, they have a special Lord of the Rings. They're airing the extended versions, Lord of the Rings and the original 3. But they're doing the extended versions tonight, Sunday, and Monday night. So around 4 o'clock, me and Chris are going to head out to watch the first one. So I won't be here later to visit with her, and she'll be leaving tomorrow morning. So right now I'm gonna go and spend some time with her. And I appreciate you guys watching the live, and hopefully next live I do, I can do a little bit more on here. So I'll let you get off here, and hopefully you guys have a wonderful day. Yes, it's definitely going to be a marathon of movies, because I know Chris said at least the Monday night movie's just over 4 hours long, so we probably got 11 to 12 hours worth of movie watching to do this weekend. And hopefully you guys have a blessed weekend, and pipe on.